nice to have you here. Oh, I feel good today, but boy, I had a horrible nightmare last night. Did I tell you about this, Cal?
No, man.
Oh, what a horrible nightmare. I tell you, I dreamed I was stuck in an elevator with Bob Dole 59 minutes after he had taken a Viagra. It was, frightening thing that was. Oh, by the way, if you're thinking of buying somebody from India a gift, a bomb shelter might not be a bad idea. India's going nuts. They've now exploded 5 atomic bombs in the last 2 days, and they've done them all underground. They set all these bombs up underground. I guess they want to be ready in case they're ever attacked by the dreaded mole people. Let me ask you something. Why 5? Is there any reason to keep testing after the first one? After the one goes boom, well, all right. And by the third one, you know it works. I mean, now you're just setting them off because you think it's neat. You know, how you're trying to impress women. Hey, Betty, take a look at this. Oh, Bill, you're so smart. Oh, wait. Well, it's good to see they've learned something from all those years with Mother Teresa. And Congress, of course, blasted the CIA today for not knowing India was developing the nuclear bomb. You know, the CIA, I'm sorry, they've really dropped the ball since the last few years. Like, you know, the CIA just found out today that Seinfeld was going on. What? When's the final up? Tomorrow. Come on. And Russian President Boris Yeltsin went online, went on the internet yesterday, for the first time answered questions from the general public. Actually, he had aides typing in the responses for him, because, you know, it's hard to type and you can't even touch your nose. You know, it's hard to do that thing, yeah. Oh, and a programming note, today's scheduled Jerry Springer episode, you know, the one titled Men Who Sleep with Women Porn Stars and Their Stepmothers, that's been postponed indefinitely. Oh, yeah. So I don't know when that's going to air. Well, that's a creepy story. You know what I'm talking about? Did you hear about the story? Apparently, Jerry Springer being accused of having sex with 2 of his guests, a woman and her stepmother. And it happened on Take Your Daughter to Work Day. That's the bad one. Oh, isn't that awful? Isn't that terrible? Isn't that creepy? You know what that means? Jerry is now weird enough to be a guest on his own show. You know, this whole story, it is such a creepy... And, of course, hard copy and extra, they've all been having a field day. Apparently, this woman is a porn star who once had sex with 350 men in a single day. Well, that must make Jerry feel kind of special. It's not like she would have sex with just anyone, you know. He's one of 350 that day. Man, what is that all about? Oh, and here we go again. Janet Reno has decided to appoint an independent counsel to investigate another Clinton cabinet member, this time Labor Secretary Alexis Herman. But Bill Clinton says he is standing behind her. He always says that. No, but you ever notice, oh, come on, you gotta be honest. Whenever one of Clinton's people gets investigated, it's always like, first he stands out in front with them, then he's standing beside them, then he's standing behind them, and then he's backing away going, good luck, keep your mouth shut, sorry you got indicted. Say hi to Webster, hello, Bobby, I gotta go. And according to the latest poll, if the presidential election were held today, Al Gore would beat Newt Gingrich 62% to 32%. Imagine that election, huh? Al Gore, Newt Gingrich, be like a bad episode of The Addams Family, wouldn't it? Like Lurch versus Pugsley or something there. Those two guys. Oh, here you go. And the Nike company has agreed to improve working conditions of its Asian footwear factories. You know, they've been getting a lot of flack. Right. Including raising the minimum working age to 18. I guess they're having problems with a lot of the younger workers teething on the sneakers. Apparently, yeah, so apparently it wasn't quite working out. Yeah. Just get a lot of drool in there. Yeah. It's amazing how young some of the kids are that work in those. You know, I bought a pair of Nikes over the weekend. Joey, hand me that. These are the actual Nikes I purchased over the weekend. See, I'm not making this up. See these? Here they are right here. And look, I saw this. Look. Can you get look? Inspected by Becky, age 7. Now look at that. Look. Now that looks pretty. Look at that little. That's too young. Here's something interesting. Welfare recipients around the country are now demanding free access to Viagra. You know about that? Well, people on welfare, they think they should. How many think welfare people should be given the anti-impotence drug for free? I'm just kidding. You think they should? Nobody? Nobody?
I do.
See, I don't know. I don't know if that's so, but, you know, hey, you know, to me, anything that gets a guy pointing in the right direction, that's a good sign. You know, that's a good sign. And I think, why not? Why not? Why not? Yeah. Yes, sirree, Bob. Actually, do you know Viagra is 80% cheaper in Mexico? Because they don't do all the paperwork, so they can sell it 80% cheaper. Talk about role reversal. Now they got carloads of Americans sneaking across the border, and they're looking for a better life. Yeah. And I mentioned this last night. A lot of insurance companies now are demanding proof that a man is impotent before they pay for Viagra. I mean, how do you prove that, you know? I mean, isn't it annoying enough when the claims adjuster comes over to look at your car when you've had an accident? What do you go? Oh, that looks bad. Yeah, that's... No problem. You got it, pal. Okay. All right, get dressed. Yeah, that's the worst one I've ever seen. It's terrible. The whole thing's out of alignment or whatever it is. And according to a new study, only half of high school students in New Hampshire use condoms during sex. Only half. Well, duh. Doesn't make sense for both of you to wear one. Of course only half. Of course only half is going to wear. I mean, what is she going to do? What is she going to do with it? Of course. It should be half. Oh, and this month's Playgirl magazine, then how often do we read that, Kevin?
I don't read, no.
Not Playboy, Playgirl. No, I'm secure in my masculinity. So I can look at that without fear of being... No, Playgirl magazine this month has a list of the best pickup lines women can use to pick up men. Oh, is that really a problem? Huh? I mean, are there guys out there going, you know, I would have slept with her, but her pickup line was so lame. I mean, what is that? I mean, let's face it, do women need pickup lines? A simple hi does it for most guys. All right, yeah, come on. Actually, I got to admit, but they did have a list of them. And we should do a walk-around like this. Go out on the street and ask women what if they've ever used a pickup. That's a good walk-around idea. But they did have a couple of good ones, good pickup lines women used to pick up. And I think the best one was, hey, what did Monica Lewinsky do that was so wrong? That's what I want to know. I think that was the best. I think that was the best. This guy knows exactly what I'm talking about right here. That's the best pickup line. You know, folks, as you know, the big series-ending episode of Seinfeld airs tomorrow night. This has been such a huge event, it's really overshadowed the season-ending episodes of every other show on television. So now, here are some of the season finales of some other popular programs as listed in TV Guide. For example, in the season-ending episode of The Pretender goes berserk after his girlfriend tells him that for the last 2 years, she's been pretending too. Apparently, big. And on Chuck Norris's show, Walker, Texas Ranger, and who isn't watching that these days? Apparently, Walker does battle with an evil mechanical robot, also played by Chuck Norris. And on the show 60 Minutes, Morley Safer is saddened when he has to put Mike Wallace to sleep. Oh, but it's a heart. Oh, it's a real. It's gripping.
Oh, yeah.
It's gripping. And on Everybody Loves Raymond, Raymond becomes jealous when Sarah Lee moves in next door and he realizes nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. It's kind of everybody loves, yeah. Oh, bad news for Sesame Street. I was deeply saddened. Sesame Street is being taken off the air because George Michael was found playing with one of the hand puppets. Yeah, that was And on the season ender of Star Trek Voyager, they go where no man has ever gone before, Janet Reno's hot tub. And finally, here's the big one you don't want to miss. On the season-ending episode of 2020, Hugh Downs takes Viagra and nails Barbara Walters. You know, that's going to be a big show. Folks, we have a great program for you tonight. Here's a wonderful woman. She has won 5 Emmys for Best Actress. The show Murphy Brown ending a 10-year run this Monday. The one, the only, the beautiful Candice Bergen is here. Candice Bergen is here. Now, here's a guy. Even as a guy, I can look at this guy and go, this is a good-looking guy.
All right.
Women are all over the stage here going nuts today because he's coming. You know him from Seinfeld? He's Peterman of the Peterman catalog. Actor John O'Hurley. John O'Hurley here. He's a good-looking guy. And... you see, Kev, I'm secure in my manner. I can look at another man and say, that is a good-looking man without any...
I see you got your hands in your
Never
pocket.
mind. But... you are so childish.
I'm just noticing things.
But you see, because I am insecure, I took my hand out of my pocket.
Okay.
And one of the funniest stand-up comedians around who'll perform for us tonight, Wayne Cotter. Wayne Cotter there. Be right back with Leando. Say hello to Kevin Eubanks and the Great Show Man.
The world is full of men who can speak volumes on the history of the past, but who knows about the swirling darkness that is the future? Only one man, a man whose amazing predictions have astounded the world. Please welcome, Leando! 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 Leando!
Yes, what is it you want, mortal?
Leando, what's up, man?
Yes, yes.
Leando, I have questions from our viewers about the future.
And you want me to answer them, I suppose?
Yeah, that's the gig, man.
Yes, that is
That's the gig.
All right, go ahead, answer the question. I said, ask the question.
Okay. Bill Talisha writes...
Bill Talisha.
The other...
sister, is that his last name?
Oh, no, man.
All right, go ahead.
The other night, all the furniture in my house started flying around the room.
Yeah.
Was I visited by a poltergeist?
No, you were visited by guests from the Jerry Springer Show.
Yeah, no, wait, you get... you catching on.
That's right. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Next question, yes. Who is it? What is it? Yes.
Speaking of Jerry Springer...
Yes.
The next question comes from Harriet Schumann.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard that Jerry Springer slept with both a mother and a daughter. What do you call someone who does that?
Woody Allen!
All right. Keith Mann.
Yes, Keith Mann.
How long is eternity?
Eternity is the length of time between a murder in Boulder, Colorado, and an arrest. That is eternity.
Hey, kind of good tonight, Leando.
I'm riding the air current. What is it?
Don't get too close with that. Frank Jensen asks, Leando.
Yeah.
Is it possible for a person's spirit?
Yes, continue reading.
You sure you don't have a body?
Yes, what is the next question? Get on with it.
Is it possible for a person's spirit to leave their body and travel somewhere else?
Yes. Usually happens to men. Every time women start talking about drapery, their mind goes somewhere else. They're in another place, a peaceful place.
That's nice. Larry Hansen wants to know.
Yes, Larry, yes, I know Larry, yes. He'll be joining us soon. What is this question?
How does one get transported from Earth to the great beyond?
Very simple. On a 737 with bad wiring.
Stop, man, stop.
The clock of time is ticking. Go ahead.
Abby Saville.
Yes?
Abby asks, why do people have near-death experiences always say they see a white light up ahead?
Oh, that is very common, yes. I can answer that question. Because they're lying in a hospital bed staring at a fluorescent light in the ceiling. People who die in their stomachs think they see linoleum tile in the afterlife. It's very simple. Very simple question. I'm surprised you idiots haven't figured it out. Now, my time grows short. I am fading. The jokes are too weak. I must go.
Yes. Oh, no, we got a big one.
No, you can stand here and hang by yourself. I'm going to the afterlife. What is the next question before I fade into oblivion?
Don't go.
Oh, no.
Please.
If Leno was here, he'd be really funny. Go ahead. What's the next question?
One last question.
Yes.
From Hank Rosen.
Yes.
Biondo, is there Viagra in the afterlife?
No, with rigor mortis, you don't need it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm curious, Biondo. Have you ever used Viagra?
No, I do not need Viagra, obviously. I find it gives me a swelled head. We'll be right back with Candice Bergen right after this.
Welcome back, everybody. Candice Bergen is on her way out. From Seinfeld, Peterman is here, actor John O'Hurley. There's a fine Italian name if I ever heard of it, John O'Hurley. And a very funny stand-up comedian, an old friend of mine, Wayne Cotter, is here as well. So it looks like a good program. My first guest is an Emmy-winning actress. In fact, she holds the record for the most Emmys for Best Actress. See, this would embarrass her. Say she holds the record as the finest actress in the history of television. See, now she's back there going, oh, shut up. After 10 years, the final Murphy Brown will air next Monday at 9 o'clock. Please welcome the lovely Candice Bergen. You look great. That's a great, is that a blouse or a jacket? What is it? That's a blouse.
I think it is. It's a Chinese blouse.
Chinese blouse?
Yes.
Very nice.
Haitang.
Very nice.
Thank you,
There's
Jay.
some Chinese food joke I could make, but I won't. It looks great. You look lovely as always.
I thought you looked extremely handsome as Biondo.
Thank you. Thank you. That's when my body looks best, actually. Now, you know what's fascinating? You grew up here, obviously, in Los Angeles, because your dad being famous and all. And there's all kinds of footage of you as a child. Your dad loved to take pictures and film, didn't he? Because not many people had movie cameras.
Yes, no, well, there were no video cameras.
Yeah, right.
Yes, many of our life events were recorded.
Yeah. Now,
recorded in great depth, actually.
well, your dad, obviously Edgar Bergen, everybody knows. I mean, he seemed like sort of a... Did you know he was kind of putting you on? Like, we have a piece of tape that we'll show in a second. I guess you had a turtle that died when you were how old? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. That was my first loss.
Oh, say about 12, maybe?
Oh, no, I was about 4 or 5.
I was
okay,
about
4 or
5. Okay.
Yes, it was my turtle, Toby.
Yeah.
And he died, actually, I was at fault. He died because I neglected to feed him.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's a little brochure that comes with the turtle.
Well, in those days, there wasn't.
Well, how long did you not feed him?
I think, well, for a turtle, a couple of weeks, maybe.
A couple of weeks?
Well, you sort of forget the turtle is there since they don't. It's not like a dog. They don't bark for food or...
But, you know, there's not a lot you can do to a turtle besides feed it. I mean, you can't really play with it.
It's not a very active, interactive pet.
Yeah. So at no point as a child did you think, you know, this thing might be hungry. Did it snap at your hand at any point?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing that made me laugh, because your dad looked like he put on this elaborate funeral. Did you know he was kind of joking with you at the time?
I didn't quite.
Yeah.
I didn't quite. Although when you see it, it's amazing that I didn't catch on.
You know, and the family appears to be mourning, and you're singing.
Yes, I sang. He suggested that I sing, so I sang a song that was popular at the time called A Tennessee Waltz.
And you know, it's amazing. For a beautiful woman, a talented woman, you really have a horrible voice.
Yeah.
I can say that as a friend,
Yes,
because I wouldn't want you to sing in public thinking, well, Jay said I sounded pretty good.
No,
Geez,
no,
you
no.
really have a bad.
Yes, but
Has this carried on into
I've made a
adulthood?
kind of specialty out of it, actually.
Well, here, show the people. This is what, about 1950? Well, take a look. Yeah, here we go.
Pardon me, the mourner. What was his death caused to? Why did he die?
Because he had only was supposed to have food once a week.
He was only supposed to have food once a week, and he didn't get it at all. And now Candy Bergen will sing a song for the deceased turtles. What will you sing, Miss Bergen?
Tennessee Waltz.
All right, please. We will now have Tennessee Waltz.
I was waltzing with my darling to the dinner to walk when old friends I have been to see.
That was just one of the most moving funerals. You know, I felt so bad for you. Today, I got you a little...
Oh, my God. Oh, well,
Yeah, you were. Here, well, here, there's
I'm
a little...
truly overwhelmed.
See that? And I put lettuce. There's enough lettuce in there for about 3 days.
Okay,
I thought,
I'll remember.
This is like Toby 2.
No, I'm going to call him Biondo.
Oh, Biondo. That would be lovely. That would be lovely. Look, he's taking to you. Look,
Yes,
look.
he likes me.
He might need therapy. He seems to have gone into a shell, but... Wait, do you want me to take that?
No.
Oh, you want to hold on to
Yeah.
it? You hold on for a little bit? Sure. All right. No, his cage is, or his thing with no holes in it is right here. Now, we're talking about winning 5 Emmys. I was teasing you, but that... And you're very modest about these things, but that's very impressive. And I know you, after 5, you said, I don't even want to be nominated anymore, right?
Well, I just, yes, I didn't put myself up. Yes, I did.
Does this embarrass you, this kind
Moving
of
on.
No, but that's pretty good. I don't know.
Oh, it was 5 more Emmys than I ever thought I would win.
Yeah. I mean, do you screw up a lot on the set?
We rarely screwed up. We were very disciplined, very disciplined.
Yeah. Like how many, like when you would do a take, how many takes would it take you to get something right?
Oh, usually we never went more than 2 takes. We didn't have time.
So, and then you have to keep moving.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So 2.
Yeah.
Well, I see, this is a bit odd for me because I called over and I spoke to some of your friends on the show and I said, what is an average number? And they just sent me an average. Well, here, take it here. Here's a scene. Here, take a look.
Good. Okay, Miles, I'm giving you 5 seconds to... Okay, Miles, I'm giving you 5 seconds to tell me why you're giving... Okay, Miles, you got 5 seconds to tell me why you're giving the top story to Corky, or I'm getting out my rubber bands and paper clips and... Okay, Miles, I'm giving you 5 seconds to tell me why you're giving the top story to Corky, or I'm going to take out my paper bands and rubber...
Pretty much, the whole day seems to have gone like that. I mean, what do you do? Like as a professional, what do you do when you get the giggles? Because there's nothing really inherently funny. You just seem to be giggling. What is
Well, once it went on for 20 minutes where we couldn't stop laughing, and you just think of mutilated animals. You think of poor Biondo here with
mutilated animals. Well, that would work, wouldn't it? Yeah.
You think of overtime, and then Diane English comes down and gives you a really frosty look, and then you think, okay, I'll just pull it together now.
Now this, you have this finale on Monday. Now you have a lot of guest stars at the...
We do. We have great guest stars. We have Bette Midler and Julia Roberts, and George Clooney came on for a sec. We have Mike Wallace, Alan King.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's cool. That's very impressive. Now, how about Dan Quayle? You had that whole thing with Dan Quayle a few years back.
Yeah.
You ever try to get him on the show?
No.
No. Women carry grudges. Was there ever any kind of makeup period there, or did just sort of, did he ever go, oh, well, maybe I... Did you ever get a note? Did you ever hear from him?
No, I myself did not. No, there was kind of notes exchanged between him and our production staff, but I've never met...
Oh, you never met him?
No.
Oh. Now, has anyone ever turned you down? Have you asked guest stars and...
I asked Jack Nicholson once, who's an old friend. I knew he would say no, but I figured I had to take a shot. And he very politely told me to go fly a kite.
Really?
Yes.
Now, the hippest man in Hollywood actually said, go fly a kite.
No. He said, he calls me Bug, and he said, hey, Bug, I'd love to do it, but...
I'd love to do it.
I don't do TV. He doesn't do TV.
Well, that's because you did. I guess you did Carnal Knowledge, right? Wasn't that the film?
Yes.
Okay. Now, also on your show, you can't seem to hold on to secretaries. You've had a lot of secretaries.
Yes, we've had 93.
Yeah, something like that. Or something like that. Yeah.
Bette was our last secretary.
Who was one of the most? Well, you've had a lot of famous, but who really memorable?
This season we had Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
We had John F. Kennedy Jr. as a secretary.
Oh, really?
Well, he wasn't actually. Murphy thought he was a secretary,
I see.
but he came on, which was great, quite thrilling for.
Now, is he like a real hunk in person? I mean, do women go nuts, or is it just, you look at him and go, ah, isn't nothing?
I never saw so many women on our set. The entire LA basin, it was drained of women. They were all on our stage. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. It was just pulsating. Unbelievable.
Yeah. What was pulsating? Because I would be pulsating if all those women...
Yes, well...
Now, is this an emotional final episode? Did you get caught up in it? Did you cry?
Yes, it was, the morning was difficult, and George Clooney came by he had done his little piece very kindly, and then I went to thank him, and he asked me how I was doing, and I burst into tears, and, but then I was fine for the rest of the time.
Did he console you? He's very...
I walked away. I was so embarrassed that I just left.
He didn't touch you or anything?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Well, the show will be on Monday, 9 o'clock. Yes. Just a wonderful, wonderful run, and a great, great show. Thanks so much for coming. I hope you like Toby.
Jay. I do. I love Toby.
And I know you have to run, right? Okay, she's got to run. We'll be right back with John O'Hurley right after this. Candice Bergen, let me give you a... Welcome back. My next guest plays the pompous catalog king, Jay Peterman on Seinfeld. Here, take a look.
Oh, Elaine, can you keep a secret?
No, sir, I can't.
Inside that small college boy mini fridge is my latest acquisition. A slice of cake from the wedding of King Edward VIII to Wallace Simpson circa 1937. The price, $29,000.
Please welcome John O'Hurley. Good to finally meet you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. My goodness, I would have been very happy to just come out here and keep the chair warm for Jerry tomorrow night, but thank you for that. I appreciate that.
And look at you know, you're what I should look like after the workout. The guy in the ad, you know, don't we look like the before and after? Like the Hollywood workout kit, this is what you look like.
I don't know about you, but this is my misspent youth appearing here.
Yeah, really? Well, we have the same stuff.
Exactly the same.
Actually, you have more gray, which makes me feel really good.
Yeah. Well, it gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah, there you are. Now, I don't know a whole lot about I think we're from the same neck of the woods. I'm from Massachusetts. You're
well, and you're just actually, I lived in Natick and Hartford.
Okay.
So you kind of cut the distance in between there.
That's right.
Andover.
Well, you talk like the guy. I'm sorry, you talk like Peterman. You make me laugh.
Well, yes, you cut the distance just like that.
You see, you're very good.
Oh, it's just my twisted imagination.
Now, did you see, as a kid, though, I never thought of going into show business. Being in New England, it was hard to sort of get into acting. Did you act as a child?
No, but at the age of 3, when I was in Natick, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Really?
I did, and no, truly. And people would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? A typical question. And this is honest to God, this was my answer. I said, well, I am an actor, so that's what I'm going to be.
Really? So what? Now what?
I just knew, and I watched television.
Yeah.
Well, I would watch television. I would watch Sea Hunt on Sunday nights, 7:30. I was there, parked in my little rattan chair. You know those little tiny chairs that the kids had. This is going to be a very disturbing visual, so be very careful. I'm wearing a little Speedo bathing suit. I have my goggles on. My father has taken this red plastic fire hydrant piggy bank of mine, cut it, and slipped a belt through it. It's on my back, and that's my breathing apparatus. And I'm wearing his size 10 Converse basketball sneakers, and I'm sitting there watching Mike Connors on Sea Hunt.
No, not Mike Connors. It would be Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges, but he was the character was.
Was Mike Connors?
Mike Connors. Mike Connors was the name of the character.
From Mannix?
No. Am I got that wrong?
No, Lloyd Bridges.
No, I know it was Lloyd Bridges, but it was Mike. The character's name was Mike. Mike Nelson.
Mike Nelson, that's what it is.
I'm sorry.
That's right, Nelson.
I'm sorry.
Who was Ricky Nelson?
You get a jacket.
I'm screwing him up now.
It was Mike Nelson. But
Mike Nelson, of course.
And the tagline, the famous line from that series was always, I was running low on air. Every episode. I was running low on air. Well, of course you were running low on air. There wasn't an episode unless you
That's
were.
right.
You know,
Now, how did you get Seinfeld? Were you sitting watching the TV? Did you dress up like Jerry and figured I want to? How did that come about? Because you had done other things, soap operas.
Up until 24 hours earlier, I was doing something. I was busy killing a series on ABC.
Now, what series was that?
Corbin Bernsen and I were doing a series called The Whole New Ball Game. We played the worst anchor team in Milwaukee.
Oh, that
right? Yeah,
okay,
we lasted a better part of a season. Thursday morning, ABC calls up and says, "Don't come to work. We're pulling the plug." So
is that how they do it?
That's how they do it. Yeah. Or they send me over now to do a guest star in the show.
Really? I mean, they call you up at home. They say, "Don't come in.
Don't come into work." They pulled the plug.
They don't even tell you ahead of time.
No. It was simple and.
Oh, my God, that's frightening. I'm not even like, come in and, oh, my God, here's some lovely parting gifts.
Kevin's not laughing. He's not laughing. He's going, oh, boy.
Did you get any parting gifts or anything?
No, nothing. It was over as quickly and brutal as that. And I went out to dinner that night with my manager, Marv Dower. We were having dinner, and I was crying in my beer, trying to take the cancellation as personally as I possibly could. And I got home that night, and it was a call from Larry David's office, and saying to be there tomorrow. There's a new role on Seinfeld. Well, honest to God, I almost said no, because I was still licking my wounds over the cancellation of the series. I said, I don't know if I just want to... Anyway, I went over to make a long story short. And they thought it would be a funny idea to have this character Peterman come on and talk the way the catalog was written. So that was the genesis, really, of the parody of Peterman. And that was the last show of the season, and he ended up as... Elaine's boss, and the rest is history.
Now, did it seem like a one-shot deal? Did you just figure, well, that's
I didn't know. Actually, when I went over there, they hadn't finished writing the episode, so by the end of the week, she was working for me, and lo and behold, I showed up next season, and it's been a slow descending spiral for that character ever since.
Can you do some Peterman? Do you have any? Obviously, you picked up all the mannerisms.
It's me. Yeah. You know what? There is one. There is, and actually, no one has ever heard this before because this was cut from the show. It was in the Friars Club episode. Unfortunately, we're 10 minutes long every week, so it's easier to cut the Peterman monologue than it is to dice through the rest of the show. But this was when Elaine and Rob Schneider, who was playing my assistant, was playing Bob. And I thought that she and Bob were having a little tete-a-tete, and I was trying to play Office Cupid and kind of encourage it along. So to do so, I gave her 2 tickets to the circus, and I walk into her office with the 2 tickets and tell her that she and Bob can knock off a little early so they can get ready. And she looks at the tickets and she goes, "Bob?" And I said, "Elaine, for heaven's sakes, I too am no stranger to love on the clock. As a young lad, my father apprenticed me to a honey factory in Belize. The chief beekeeper was this horrible hag of a woman with gnarled teeth and a giant wart that she called her nose. Whew. She was not attractive even by backwoods standards. But love is truly blind, Elaine, and as the days went on, working closer and closer together with that sweet smell of honey in the air, I knew I had to have that horrible creature. And I did. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him.
I mean, you know what's fascinating? There are people now doing impressions of you. Do you get a kick out of that?
I do, because it's the #1 show in Australia. I do radio interviews down there all the time, and all the DJs in Australia do impressions of Peterman. But the funniest one was I was in Madison, Wisconsin, about several months ago. Yeah. The entire town is here. It's us. This couple at a cocktail party comes up, and they have their child who's dressed up very nicely, and they push him forward. I don't remember his name, maybe Billy or something like that. They said, "Billy, go ahead, do it for him." And this little 4 or 5-year-old walks up to me, puts his hands on his hips, and says, "Elaine?" And he starts to go into one of the Peterman monologues. I said, well, the cycle continues. It started with Sea Hunt, and now we have a pint-sized Peterman.
There you are. See, you were some inspiration for some young man somewhere. Just as Lloyd Bridges led you, you see?
It's my job to carry out.
That's good. Well, you do a wonderful job, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you. So congratulations on a great series. Thank you. Terrific. Connor Hurley, be right back with Wayne Cotter right after this. Oh, that was terrific. My next guest, a talented comedian and an old friend of mine. You can see the Ice House, my old stomping ground, the Ice House in Pasadena, California, May 19th and the 20th. And it's a Stress Factory in Brunswick, New Jersey. Boy, am I glad I'm off the road. May 28th through the 30th. Road Warrior Wayne Cotter. Come on out here, Wayne Cotter.
much. Thank you. Oh, man. Well, my news since I was last here, I became a dad. Thank you very much. I got to tell you, this is what I'm thinking about. I want so badly to not be one of those California health nut parents. You know any of these kind of people? We got somebody on my street, oh, we don't give our kid any candy or cookies or ice cream ever. Never, never! And the kids have to have fun, don't they? Oh, it's all how you raise them. For a treat, we give them a peppercorn. They enjoy that immensely. These are the kids 30 years later shinning up a flagpole with an AK-47. Peppercorn! I want to be a good dad. My uncle started in with me. Oh, you know, now, as a dad, as a man, you are the head of the household. Really, what a stupid idea. Does the man have to be the head of the household? You know who invented this idea? Women. Yeah, am I the head of the household? Yes, you are. You're now fix that trash and take out the garbage and sweep the driveway. And I'm the head, right? Oh, you're the boss-orama. Yeah, now fix the car and mop the thing and take out the trash and do the... Yeah, well, it's good to be the king, you know. I do want to... I hope I'll be a good dad. I hope I won't put pressure on my kid about his career, you know. My parents, doctor, lawyer, doctor, lawyer. I would take doctor over lawyer, I'll tell you that much. A doctor could be good news. You go for a doctor, you know, you go for a checkup, you're okay. You go to a lawyer, if you're even talking to a lawyer, that is a bad news situation. Can we agree about that? Take good news from a doctor, put it in a lawyer's mouth, it becomes bad news. You want some examples? You don't have a case. From a doctor, good news. From a lawyer, bad news, right? I won't see you again for 5 years. Doctor healthy, lawyer jail. You'd be real happy if your doctor says 1 injection, it'll all be over, but that's about the worst news you could possibly receive from your attorney. I hope my son will be a better student than I was. I never took school very seriously. I never understood the subjects they chose. Roman numerals we learned in school. Roman, what is the application of this? What do they teach us next? Chariot repair? I remember I was all upset I got a C on the test. Then I realized it was 100. You know, it's no wonder we're raising a nation of idiots. You know, I bought a TV, came with instructions, page 2, plugging it in. You know, page 1 should say, turn page with finger. Has a troubleshooting chart. Fix it yourself. Problem? I don't see a picture. Solution, 3 choices. Plug it in, turn it on. Are you facing the television set? My vacuum cleaner manual. Warning, only use this product for its intended purpose. I don't even want to know the lawsuit that inspired that. As far as I'm concerned, yeah. There's a company, I saw one company hawking a gadget that tells you where you are anywhere on the planet. And they stress this, it's portable. Doesn't have to be, we already have a stationary thing, does that, called a sign. Just give me a red dot to carry around. I'm here, that's where I am, right here. The phone now for 75 cents, you punch star 69, it calls back whoever just called you. Does anybody need this pointless, stupid feature? I was arguing with my brother about it. Oh, it's for a hang-up. It's not for a hang-up is a wrong number. Every time, I don't want to burst your bubble. It's not Ed McMahon with your $20 million. It's a wrong, come on. So you punch star 69, the guy answers, hello, you realize, I don't know this guy. Then he punches star 69, calls you back, you know what I mean? Phone company makes $1.50 off the whole thing. That's the whole deal. Thank you very much. Nice chatting with you.
Star 69. See, I never quite got that myself.
I'd never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Star. I called a friend of mine. This is actually how this happened.
Yeah.
No offense to my friend who did this, but this is you. I called Star. I called him. His machine answered. So I don't want to leave a message. I hang up. A minute later, my phone rings. It's weird. It's him. I answer. Hello. Aha! It was you. I said, well, what? I was screening. His screen. You understand? This is a guy. He's screening his calls because he doesn't want to speak to anyone who leaves a message. He's not sure who it is. But if somebody hangs up, that person, no matter who, he has to speak to immediately. There's something a little out of whack. And now, as if the phone, now the electric company wants to be more like the phone company. You're going to choose your electric company now? Right, like sure. Life is not complicated enough. Do you want to be choosing rate plans? You want to be in the emergency room at 3 minutes to 7? The guy's waiting on the heart defibrillator till he gets the dime a minute rate? You want to be?
So you like being a dad? This is fun for you?
I'm loving being a dad. Yes. I'm really enjoying. Some things are pressuring. I'm going to have to do sports with him as a boy, you know. And my dad never did do sports with me. He didn't know anything about it. And my mom tried to pressure him into it. He's your son. Take him outside. Teach him to catch. And my dad finally grudgingly grabbed a can of soup, took me in the yard, and wing. Ow, ow, ow! No, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't enjoy athletics. He's just like me that way. Very sad.
And you're just like him that way.
I am a little bit. Well, I hope I won't be that quite as abusive. Naming a boy is tough. Boy, I don't know if any of you have been... You look at the baby name book, the girls' names are all Falinda, Malana, Balinka. They make up things. Everything means flower, beauty, sunset. You look at the boy's name's Bob, he who lies in mud. And then, plus, boys' names don't want to rhyme with anything. They'll tease him Bob the Slob, Joe the Schmo, Chuck the Duck, you know, and then I'm looking in the book, Enos. Yeah, send him into kindergarten. Introduce yourself, son. I'll pick you up at 3 o'clock if you're still alive.
Now you're off to the Stress Factory. And
apparently playing my parents' house now.
Really, well, you've got some agent. All right, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Hey, Wayne, congratulations. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I want to thank my guests, Candice Bergen, of course, Murphy Brown, the last episode on Monday. Wayne Cotter off to the Stress Factory and the Ice House.
Hi, Mom.
And, of course, John O'Hurley, are you in the... Will you at least tell us? Will you at least tell us if you're in the final episode?
Of course I'm in the final
that's what I just... Oh, I know I'm not going to get...
And you will be watching. I'll give you one tip.
Seinfeld.
What's that coming up? That's right. I'll give you one tip about the show. You will be watching 2 or 3 dozen of the most expensive commercials you have ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
All righty. Well, that sounds good. And, of course, tomorrow we have Jerry. And, big mystery guy. When you see, you'll go, you know, Jay, you were right. There's a lot of hype in top. This is not hype. This is the biggest star that has never appeared on late night, any late night TV show. He's...